Okay, so I got a Troy built, I think they're called MTD snowblower. I don't think it matters. I think they're all pretty much the same if you have these style of snowblowers. And it's tipped on its side, obviously. It was having problems with its driving capability, where when I would go to drive it, it would work in gear, and then if you hit too much snow, I wanted to stop. And then, so, this is the drive mechanism. So what I did was I tightened it, and as you can see, it's pretty tight, it's pretty taut. So when I pull on this, it pulls that. If anything, it might even be a little bit too tight. Okay, so that wasn't the issue, because no matter what, I still couldn't really get it to stop doing that. So I wanted to take it apart, take a look at it. So I ran it until all the gas came out and it shut off. I know the motor's good. I know the carb's good. It runs fine. And these don't have transmissions per se. It is a little bit different. So basically, what I did was I tilted it on its side, and then I wanted to take a look at the belt. So this is the cover that goes on the belt, and it's just a screw on each side of it, and then you pull it off, and then you're exposed to the belt. All right, the belt was really loose on there, so all I did was pop it off. All right, and it's a little bit difficult to do with your hand, but you can do it with your hand if you just pry at it a little bit. Oh, I'm sorry. The other thing I did was I opened up where the spark plug is, and I disconnected the spark plug, so I don't have to worry about shocking myself. Although it's just one spark plug, it's not going to kill you, it's just going to hurt. But anyway, so I disconnected the spark plug. Because the spark plug is disconnected, I can pull on the motor, and it's not going to start, but it will turn. Okay, so if you were having trouble getting that pulley to move, as you can see, if I pull on this, it will turn, and you can kind of pry it up a little bit, turn that, and it'll pop off, or you can just pull on it. But anyway, that's how it goes. I should have popped it the other way, but really doesn't matter. Okay, so pop that off, because this belt is obviously ready for a new one. The other one is a little loose, so I'm going to change it too, but this one works on a tensioner. See, and when I pull it off, it takes the tension off. When I let go, it puts tension on. Okay, this one feels worn out too. I don't know if you can see that there, but when I push on it, the tensioner is moving, but it seems like it's a little loose. So I'm going to change that one too. But this is the auger belt. This is the drive belt. Okay, this is just a V-belt. You can get them at most of the hardware stores. When you look up your model number, they might have a number on them if you pull them off. I'm not sure, but I'll find out in a minute. So then I came over here, and the pan is on here. Okay, and the pan is in here, and it's tucked in there. So you pull off 4 bolts, and when I pulled it off, there's a mouse nest in there. All right, so that was definitely giving me some problems. As a matter of fact, this nut, the reason it's broken is because it was stuck right in here. So when this lever moved, as you can see, it moves. And when it got pushed, it snapped that nut. Okay, so that's obviously shouldn't go there. Okay, so now when you come in here, now this is where the belt is. Okay, here's the belt on the pulley. Okay, this is a 9/16 and this is a 3/4, and you just unscrew them. I gotta get tools, but this one's already loose. I started doing it, but you unscrew that. Okay, pull that off. Now, if I push the belt through, I'm sorry. Yeah, see. Yeah, I made a little mistake there, and okay, now I gotta put this belt onto the bottom, otherwise I'm not gonna get enough slack. But as you can see, if I give this rope a pull on the pulley, see now it's putting the belt back on for me. Okay, so now the belt's on. Sorry, I'm not left-handed. Okay, now that a real good pull. Okay, Okay, now I stuck it under there, so it's stuck. Oh, thought it was stuck. Okay, let's see if I can set this up here. Hopefully I don't stop the camera. Sorry about that, but that ain't gonna work. But anyway, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull this belt down, and then I'm gonna pull that rope, and it's gonna pull off the same way it just pulled on. Okay, now hopefully I didn't flip the camera mode upside down when I came back, but here you can see I popped it onto the bottom. So now I'm just gonna pull it down. Okay, push that slack through to the other side. Okay, now when I come through here, one side's off. In order to get this side off, I can either pull on this with my finger, or when I pull the lever, okay, see, it opens. No, it's not opening. Alright, that's no good. That's because I was pulling the wrong one. Okay, so now you can see when I pull the lever, it gets out of my way. I can set this camera up again. Sorry about this. So I'm holding the lever, and now I can pull that right out of there and let go of the lever. Okay. Now the only other thing I have to do is get it over that bolt. So you just lift it up. Okay. Now when I lift it up, pull it right out of there. Okay, now you can see this belt. It's worn on both sides. It's definitely cracked. A little misshapen, but I've seen worse. Okay. What'll happen sometimes is it might be frozen to this shape, so that when it tries to turn, it's given a hard time because there's a hard turn on something. Okay, so that's how you get that belt off. Obviously, to put it back on, I don't have any belts right now. I have to go to the store, but I'm going to jam that in there. I'm going to open this back up. I'm going to slide this back in. I'm going to put the guide back in there. I'm going to tighten this tight, but not as tight as you can do it. You want it nice and snug, but you don't want to break it. Okay. Now, my other problem, okay, now what happens is the motor turns, the belt on the pulley puts it on, transfers the power here. Okay, then when you pull this, it lifts this disc up just like a clutch would. Okay, then this comes in contact with this gear. Okay, and this is what this is riding on, and that's how you transfer perpendicular. Okay, so now the power is running through this gear, okay, and this has a gear on it. It runs into this gear, and this gear, just for a little extra stability, and that's how you move the wheels. Okay, and this one, as you can see, and it looks like it just happened recently, and I do not see it, but it looks like there used to be some kind of plastic, you know, fat washer, spacer type thing, so that this gear would ride smoothly on here. And instead, that's gone, so now this moves around. As you can see, this doesn't move that much, so this moves a lot. Okay, so that was part of my problem, as I found now. Okay, then when you engage into gear, okay, so now if I move this lever into a different gear, okay, what happens is, okay, that slides back and forth. Okay, now that that's open, you can see this right here has been rubbing against my gear. Okay, so that's no good. So I need to find a spacer here. So what's probably going to happen is unscrew this. Same thing on the other side. and then you pull the shaft out. Now as you pull the shaft out, each gear comes out. So you have to watch, because this is a spacer. This is a little spot that slides in. I believe there's a keyhole in one of these, or both of them. Okay, and then you have this shaft. Okay, there's a C-clamp here, a C-clamp here. There's a washer here. I think there's a washer here. Okay, I think there's another washer in here. I don't think there's one over here. And then back to washer, spacer, wheel. So you have to keep everything in order. Okay, pull them out. And then what I'm going to do is, because this is not high speed, I'm going to repack these bearings that are on these gears, because it's really not a big deal to repack them. Normally you would just get new bearings, but because this isn't high speeds, it's really not going to be a big deal. If you were running on a car, then that would be important, because what's going to happen is eventually that bearing is going to break or seize up. But so I'm going to pull them off. I'm going to grease them, because I have to in order to get a spacer on anyway, which is, unless I can find some other, if I can find another way to put a different spacer on there, then I'll do that. Well, I'm gonna have to go to the hardware store and find out. Okay, but anyway, so I'm gonna if I wind up pulling that off, I'm gonna pack the bearings with some you can either use some bearing grease or just some low temperature grease. Okay, and then you grease inside the bearings, and this washer's out of the way. Okay, you would grease in there, clean them up as good as possible. Some brake cleaner, something like that. Gasoline will work, but obviously it's stinky. So, and it's very dangerous, so use it at your own risk. So you didn't hear that from me. So, pack these with grease. And then when you put everything back together, make sure you put it back in the same order. Okay, then you're going to grease these gears. Grease all these gears. Okay. Grease this very lightly, okay, because, I'm sorry, not this one, this one. Grease this very lightly, and then you move this shaft back to the other side. And grease it again here, and make sure you don't have any excess, because you don't want it spitting off, and landing onto here. Now, all this rat's nest, all this stuff was here, and that was probably part of my problem. I was getting things stuck in here, and then, I'm sorry, getting things stuck in here, and then this is trying to turn, but it's slipping on all this stuff. Okay, so make sure you don't over grease this. Then the next thing you want to do is this wheel and this disc, you want to clean really well. Once again, gasoline will work, use at your own risk, and brake cleaner will work. But clean that up really nice, because these two are contact surface. Okay, then you want to make sure on some of the I think it's the newer ones, but I'm not sure. On some of them, the adjustment's right here for this bracket. Obviously, it's not on mine, and all you do is slide up and down in order to tighten the tension on these on these wires in order to engage into the disc or the pulley. Okay, same thing here. Okay, this one doesn't work like that. The way this one works is you unscrew that set bolt, and then twist this up, and then you put the set bolt back where you need it. Same thing over here. This one, the set bolt's where it's supposed to be. So you would loosen that bolt, turn this up or down, whichever way you need, and then tighten that back up. Okay, and then the other thing I have to figure out is, it doesn't want to turn side to side, but it'll turn manually. So I think this is stripped in here because it's all plastic. And in that case, I think it'd probably have to be something that gets ordered. And if that's the case, then I'll just go without and turn it by hand. But make sure you take your spark plug out before you do any work. Make sure your gas is empty or tightened so it's not dripping. I recommend you run it until it turns off, and then you don't have to worry about any gas. And that's basically how they work. If you have any problems, questions, comments, anything like that, let me know. I mean, it seems pretty simple. It's a combustion engine, so there's nothing I won't try once. So thanks for watching the video, and check me out later, and I might post a video of me putting everything back together. We'll see what happens. Thanks for watching.